Hey, how you doing? Austin here with a update video on a really cool company, Nano Dimensions. This company is in the high-end 3D printing market, and I've done a couple of videos on them, and I thought it was time to do yet another video. The stock is currently trading around $7.81, give or take. That's what it closed on Friday, and I have found some information that it looks like this stock could potentially be good to move forward, and obviously right now it's at a great buying price, and potentially it could get back to and start moving up. Its highs are around $17+, and so I think it definitely has the potential to get back to that. I am definitely rating this as a buy stock and pretty bullish on this. Obviously, put it through your own technical fundamental analysis, but what the company does, their technology is very, very cool. They've got an extremely strong cash position, and they are an innovator in their respective markets. They are a disruptor, and that's what I really, really like about them. You guys who follow my channel, follow my videos, I am huge fans of companies that are disruptors. They come in and disrupt their competition, and Nano Dimensions does that with their technology. They basically replace rooms and rooms of their competitors' equipment because they do it smaller, better, faster for their customers, and they give a better experience for their customers, which ultimately should reflect in their share price to their investors. As always, before we move on, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and if you would please do me a favor, drop a like on this video if you get value out of it, and if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. So with that said, let's go take a look at what's going on with Nano. Okay, so currently, as I said, the shares stopped trading on Friday at the end of the week for $7.82, showing you a six-month chart here. Really, what I want to point out in this particular scenario is I think that Nano is absolutely poised, and at these levels, number one, it's a really good buy, a long-term buy, a long-term hold. You guys know I am fans of that. That is really how I like to do investing. I have kind of two scenarios. I do kind of long-term hold investing, and then I do a lot of momentum trending investing, where a stock is really moving up and it's hitting its 52-week highs, things like that. Obviously, that's not the scenario for Nano. Nano to me is more of a buy and hold for say 8, 10, 12 plus months, because you're frankly bottom line betting on the fact that you're buying it at a nice low level and the stock's going to go back up over time. I think that this company absolutely has the wherewithal and the potential to do that at these specific levels. And if you look at their chart, kind of this first chart reel here, moving down towards the end of mid-February, into the March 5th, March 8th time frame, that was the major NASDAQ correction where we lost 1,000 plus, approximately 1,000 points in the NASDAQ. So the stock lost, even I'm only picking about halfway down, but let's call it 38%. Really, which was reflective of the correction in the NASDAQ. I would point out that the stock rebounded very, very nicely and gained 50 points back. Then you've got another scenario here where towards the end of March and kind of back into excuse me, the end of March, you've got another kind of smaller correction that happened there, where again we had quite a few red days and things like that. So the stock has obviously been impacted by those two respective correction scenarios, and currently the stock is definitely trading kind of at this $8 level. It would seem kind of from history, if you look before the stock rose and then kind of after the corrections, that this $8 high sevens, low 8 is really our support level, and at least it's kind of at a high level with the little amount of data that we have relative here. And it looks like, again, you could look at maybe some really nice buying levels at this if you believe, as I believe, that this is a long-term hold, 8, 10, 12 months. I think that this absolutely could be a $17 or more stock as time rolls forward. Okay, so let's take a look at the piece of information I have for you. So after an overdone pullback, it's time for to jump in on Nano Dimension. So I actually believe that. I think that it's a compelling 3D printing play that again has shown it can conserve cash while generating consistent sales. This particular author, I love this. This is why I highlighted almost everything. I'm going to read this for you. On March 17th, he made a bullish call for Nano Dimension. Of course, the market had to mock him by immediately sending Nano stock price lower. Does this mean he's abandoning his bright outlook? No. Okay. What I loved is he said this right here. Not at all. I searched long and hard for legitimate reasons why the share price would drop. I didn't find anything genuinely wrong with Nano Dimensions. If anything, a drop in the stock price should make it more attractive for bargain hunters and for folks who've been sitting on the sidelines with cash. You could be looking at an ideal entry point right now. Because here's the thing: if it doesn't look like we're really going to drop any significant more. And if you kind of look at this scenario here, is there potential? Sure. I mean, we all know stocks. It is what it is, right? And stock could drop, but maybe buy the stock, immediately put a stop loss order on it, and protect. With however whatever your threshold is, 10, 20% or whatever it is. And if the stock drops, it will immediately trigger the sale of the stocks, and you can minimize your risk in that scenario. Okay, but again, if it's a long-term hold play, you're basically believing in the fact that this is a stock that could absolutely reach some of these high levels that it has achieved, right? Okay, so that's really what we're talking about. Okay, so it really comes down to this sentence right here. If you believe in the company and the future of 3D printing industry, which I fundamentally do, I think that the 3D printing industry is one that's going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You've got the likes of ARC, investing in companies in this space. It is absolutely here to stay and going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so there might be actually potential for a share price doubling here. As I mentioned earlier, I just showed you that it hit its high of 1789, 1617 up in that area. Okay, and now I thought this was a great perspective here. Okay, so we should maintain a long-term perspective here. You guys know that that's how I look at it, and that's how I see it. It was just a year ago when Nano was trading at 65 cents. Okay, so I mean, we're talking right now, the stock is trading at 782. Okay, the stock is capable of making outsized price moves. I fundamentally agree with that. Okay, it's absolutely shown that it can do that. If you want to talk about kind of the overall global market, I've mentioned this in my previous videos. The global market for 3D printing products and services is expected to exceed $40 billion by the year 2024. And Nano is absolutely one of the key players in this respective market. And it's forecasted to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 26.4% between 2020 and 2024. Okay, so again, if you believe right here that is true, here's the thing. If you want to be a little bearish on this, cut this number in half. Say, okay, it's not going to be 40 billion. Let's say it's going to be 20 billion. Okay, the number, whatever you think it is going to be, and do you believe fundamentally that this company has the technology and the potential to do what we think it's going to do, right? That's really what it comes down to. So look, even if you're anticipating robust growth in the global 3D printing industries, it's essential to focus on companies with firm capital positions. I fundamentally agree. Okay, company reported 1.97 million in fourth quarter 2020 results, as well as 3.399 million in revenues in full 2020. Again, we were in the peak of COVID, and a lot of companies really weren't investing in technology. They were having a wait and see attitude. So again, I think that these numbers will continue to go up and up and up. And look at this relatively small amount of revenue that the company's doing in this large overall marketplace, right? And let's say that it's only going to be a $10 billion. Let's say it's going to grow. I mean, if you believe that the compound growth rate, whatever variation on the theme here, my point to you is I'm illustrating how large the overall market opportunity is. And if you believe, as I do, that Nano has very good technology and they are a disruptor in their marketplace and they are an innovator, then it's a good, safe bet at these levels. If that doesn't convince you, and again, I'm not trying to convince you, I'm only bringing you the information. I want you to have this because I want you to look at this from the standpoint and do any of your own analysis, right? But I like the things that I am seeing for sure, okay? The CFO encouraged insights into the company's fiscal health. And he basically said, look, the end of 2020 with a strong balance sheet of $670 million in cash, and they have strengthened it more to a balance of $1.5 billion because they did do some equity offerings. So they've got $1.5 billion in cash on their balance sheet. the chairman and CEO said, hey, we got a war chest and our company's technology makes Nano Dimension extremely well positioned for growth. Okay, he basically was talking about that. Okay. One bit jumped out from the press release. The new president's got growth company experience on a global scale. Okay, the company's demonstrated its ability to conserve cash while generate consistent revenues. Okay, that's really true. So if you're not really ready to buy in at these levels, then fine. Put this stock on your ticker. If you're like, hey, I'm still a little, I want to see some proof in the pudding. Maybe see them what their Q1 revenues, because we haven't reported Q1 2021 yet. Then kind of have a wait and see attitude just a little bit, okay? But I think that this one is one that will continue to go up. Okay, so could it get back to its February high point? Hey, look, none of us know, but it is possible, right? We've got to have some factors work for us. We've got to have the NASDAQ do its thing, the overall market do its thing, and by doing that, I mean by going green. And giving Nano Dimension superior capital position, I think that the shares price turnaround could happen soon, and again, they've got that cash to kind of weather the storm to make technological innovations and all that kind of stuff. So let's wrap up with a few final thoughts. So, here's what it comes down to. It has to be a scenario where you feel that the stock is right for you, right? Overall, I like this stock, and I like its possibilities, and I like its future. And if you don't feel like it's quite right for you at this moment, then just put it on your watch list. Set a buy price, and then set a stop loss behind it, and to protect any downside. I don't see a lot of downside risk. The stock is not overly volatile. It's not moving up and down dramatic swings. We saw that from the chart. So I think that this is a very stable long-term investment, 12 plus months. I think that this one is a good one, and I would encourage you to run it through any of your own technical and your own analysis and see if you think it's right for you. But I like this company, and I like where they're headed. So I'm going to wrap up there. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.